What's going on, everyone? It's Sheena, aka Sheenapreneur, your favorite veteran. Are you ready to secure government contracts in 2025 and build your business or scale your business like you've never done before? Well, in this video, I want to share some of my proven strategies, avoiding some pitfalls, and sharing some ways that you can get ahead of the curve with our new landscape that is fastly approaching us. Some of the changes that will be made in 2025 that you need to have your business ready for, have your mindset ready for, and to get yourself to a point where you can grow and scale your business like never before. So let's get started. So for those who are new here, welcome. And those who don't know me, my name is Sheena Parker again, aka Sheenapreneur, and I have been in the government contracting space for over 10 years, and I have built my facility management company, which is award-winning, for the last almost 8 years. And I want to share some of my strategies of how I was able to build my business and some of the things I've seen throughout my journey with helping other businesses. I've helped many businesses grow and scale, and today I want to share what works in 2025. I have taught at Texas A&M about government contracting using my 3-tiered government contracting approach, which is federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. I have done many panels, including at Syracuse University, multiple veteran entrepreneur boot camps and conferences, and I have heard a lot, I've seen a lot, and I have done a lot. I have done it all, like Shorty Low said. I want to try to help you navigate through this government contracting space, whether you are brand new or you are scaling. So one of the things, number one thing to look out for is the landscape. So right now is January 2025. Our landscape is going to greatly change, and we don't know whether it's really going to be for the better or for the worse. We are not mind readers. We don't know what that is going to look like, but we can only hope for the best. So we want to do the best we can to make sure that our businesses are set up for success. So using websites like GovCon Wire and GovWin, and even just Google and following some of the government contracting news will definitely help you stay ahead of a curve that you may not even know that is upcoming. Making sure that you're checking your blind spot. There are going to be some adjustments to certifications, whether for the better or for the worse. There's going to be a lot of changes to the actual federal procurement process. And like I said, using websites like GovCon Wire will give you some of those latest updates and some other federal contracting news outlets. So you want to stay ahead of that, and you don't really want to go and follow the news as much because the news is delivering for a very specific reason, but you want to get the facts based on what the federal government is actually going to do. And likewise with local contracting. You know, I talk a lot about local contracting, so there are going to be things that trickle down from the federal government down to the state level, down to the county level, down to the city level, and also for university systems and school systems. So you want to make sure that you're aware of what's going on. If you're going to be doing local contracting, you want to see what's going on in your backyard with the local school system if you plan on working with someone like that or some agency like that. So a couple of action plans that you're going to need. Make sure that your capability statement is up to date. So many times, even for my own business, we have been approached with an opportunity and the agency or even a larger company is asking, hey, do you do this thing? And we're like, yeah, we do that. But then I go look at our capability statement after it's requested from the agency or from another company, and it's not listed on there. Even if it's something that we may do, but we just didn't squeeze it in with the NAICS code, or we just didn't write it in as a past performance, or didn't even write the agency that we did the service for. Make sure that your capability statement is up to date. It's January 2025, so this is a perfect time to update with everything that you've done previous, and that includes anything that you've done as a human as it relates to your business. So I've heard many times that some business organizations that are there to help you, whether it's navigate business or navigate government contracting, are telling you that past performance has to be based on that particular business, even if you're brand new. But that's not the case. And the only way that will become an issue, if you're brand new and the agency is asking specifically for the same size and scope past performance. For example, let's just say that an agency wants fencing done, and they want you to have performed a fencing contract for a Department of Defense or for another federal agency that's the same size and scope. Let's say it's $1 million contract and you've only put up a fence in your backyard backyard, then that's not going to really be the same size and scope. But let's just say you did lots of fencing when you were in the military, or lots of fencing as an employee. That still counts towards your past performance. So if you can speak the language and you're able to do that, unless the agency specifically says this business has to have done this specific thing in the past, then you can use your past performance. You as a person is your past performance, or you can try to find the past performance, if you know what I mean. And I've talked about that a few times on my channel, but basically what that means is you partner up with someone in your company, they become a part of your company, they have that past performance and you use that past performance. Or you can just partner up with a company in general and be have a prime contractor relationship, subcontractor relationship, where you just combine all of your resources together. So capability statement, make sure that your capability statement is up to date and that your past performance documents, whether that's a slideshow, a capabilities brief, or even just a spreadsheet with all your past performance, make sure that that stuff is up to date immediately. That's probably the first thing you do before you even check the news, before you check GovCon Wire. Make sure that that stuff is up to date. So the next thing would be ensuring that you have a proper way to do your proposal writing, whether that's you, whether you're using ChatGPT, whether you're using Claude AI, whether you're using a child, an intern, your mama, your daddy, anybody that you can use. Make sure that you have an official process, because it makes life so much easier, especially when you're in your niche. We talk about that a lot on this channel. You're within your niche, and then you're able to rinse and repeat with these proposals. All the proposals are bids and requests for quotes and requests for proposals, RFPs, RFQs. They're not all going to be the same, but if you're let's just say you're a plumber, and there's probably not a whole lot of different ways plumbing can go. Plumbing is plumbing, I'm going to assume, and anybody wants to check me in the comments, you can. But if you're a plumber and that's all you want to do, and you got your niche, super, you're master plumber, you can speak the language, you know all the things, then writing a proposal over and over and over should be super easy, and you should be able to pump those bids out quickly. And then also when it comes to that, being in the same niche continuously, you're able to build relationships where you can be the go-to person, and you feel like, but you'll never go hungry, I should say, because really it's your business will speak for itself before you even come into a room. Sheena the plumber, okay, we know she's a plumber, and that's it, and we don't have to worry about like, well, does she do hair, does she paint, does she sell printers, does she make awards, like no one knows who you are or what you do. But if you do this one thing, then people can refer you, and then the business will come to you on its own without you having to go out there and bid, right? So having a good proposal writing process, whether it's using AI, using yourself, using it off the dome, using previous contracts that you found online, or doing an open records request from an agency in the same industry, then whatever you got to do, make sure that you get that process down. Even if you just got to write it down, you can write down, use Claude AI to evaluate an RFP. Ensure that you have your the proposal at least 15, it's like a go, no go list, 15 days before it's the questions are due, or 15 days before it's due. Ensure that I have a pricing model for this particular industry, this particular service. Ensure that I have time to actually pump out this proposal. Make sure that I know it's either is it a mail-in, is it an email proposal. Having a process down, even if you just write it down, even if you're not looking at proposals yet or RFPs yet, have that process down so you're able to ensure that you are staying ahead of the curve instead of trying to figure out, okay, what do I do next? So I talk about going through bids multiple times on my channel. They're labeled as such, so you can go through. Maybe I'll leave a couple of them in the description going directly to those videos. But bidding and submitting proposals can be super easy if you have a plan and you have a process in place. Networking and teaming, super major for my company last year and even going into this year. Going to events, but making sure that those events are worth it, because you can go to a million events and never execute and never have follow-up, and then that you just wasted time and or money. So a lot of people ask me, where do you find these events, Sheena? You can go to Eventbrite, you can go to Google, you can set up alerts for certain types of events through Google Alerts. Literally it's google.com//alerts. And then when you go there, you can type in government contracting events or government contracting conference. Set that as an alert, and every time anything hits the internet about government contracting conference, government contracting event, you'll get an email. It may not be in your geographical location, but you can kind of tweak the alerts to have it the way that you want it. Or it could be your industry. It could be for, if you sell soap, it could be a soap conference or beauty conference or hygiene conference or something like that. It's probably not a thing, I don't know. But those types of things will get you the information you need for events. Eventbrite is really good. They even have one called like Mighty Events or something like that. I'm gonna find them, put it in the description. But basically, events come up all different types of ways, and especially if you are you have alerts set up on sam.gov and some of the local websites, they'll have what's called industry days, where, for example, USDA may have an industry day and they need all farmers or something like that. They want to have all farmers come together, and how can you do business with the USDA? So each agency has those. A lot of the local agencies, like the cities, the city of Atlanta may have how to do business with City of Atlanta Day, and so you could just go to that and then figure out exactly what they want from you, exactly how they want to they want you to do business with them. They're giving you the key. They're giving you the method of how to work with them. So it's up to you to take advantage of that. So that's networking. And then teaming is working with other companies, whether higher or lower, depending on where you are in your government contracting journey or in your business journey. You may be 20 years in your business but never do government contracting. So, it's like you're not new, but you're new to government contracting. So it's a great idea to partner with companies that are, if you have understanding of government contracting, you can, subcontract work out to other companies that don't know how to do government contracting, that just want to do the work, and you be the person to help them do the work. I believe in subcontracting. That's something that we do. About 75-80% of our business is subcontracting. So, and we do some of the stuff internally, very few things, but to me, it's a win-win, because the company usually is a smaller company that wants to get work, but they don't know how to do government contracting. So we just kind of facilitate it for them. I don't use the word middleman because it's not. I'm the prime contractor, so I can't be a middleman because I'm held responsible if my contractor doesn't perform. So I'm not in the middle. I'm at the top. I'm in the beginning. So that's how, that's teaming. You could do it like that, where it's a sub-prime relationship, subcontractor, prime contractor, or you can use, or you could be a prime and the other company is larger than you, but because you have a certification or because of your geographical location, they may want you to be the prime, and then they'll just execute the work. So it just really depends. Certifications are super powerful, especially at the local level, if you know how to use them. Don't let certifications stop you from doing government contracting or stop you from going after an opportunity, because there's a lot of opportunities that don't require a certification. Does it narrow down the competition? Yes, but out of the SDVOSB, which is a Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Business Certification, for veterans, obviously, 5% of all contracts are set aside for veterans. So that's still 95% of contracts are not for veterans, set aside for Service Disabled veterans. So you want to still go after opportunities, even if they are not set aside. And also, on the local side, those federal certifications do not count. They may ask you if you're a veteran, ask you if you're a minority, ask if you're a woman, and you can check those boxes off. And then some of the agencies locally have their own certification that's not related to the one that's on through the federal government, and you have to do a separate process to register with those. And even at the local level, they'll have local certifications where you're a local business there. You're just a local business that's registered in that city, and that's a local certification. So, the certifications, I've done many videos on those, so you can go ahead and check those out. But that's a part of the teaming that works, because if you have, let's say, a DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise certification, which is like a state certification, then agencies or companies, smaller companies, larger companies, but small companies, like they might make 5, 10, 15, 20 million dollars, they'll come and they'll ask you if you can partner with them, because you'll be listed on the database that has the certifications, all the companies that are certified in that city, the state, whatever, county, those other companies will come to you. And it might be a company you never heard of and they make $20 million, $50 million and they can't get the local certification because of their annual sales, or because it might be a minority certification, it might be a woman-owned, whatever that particular city uses, or they might not be local as well. So you want to be able to use that leverage in order to partner with other companies, teaming, networking, going to events, but also going to like boot camps, so you can sharpen your skills, because you might have been in your business for 10, 20 years and you don't know what's new because you're just so focused on your business that you're not growing mentally, and you're just everything else is just passing you by. You've been doing things the same way for years and years and years, and that is a problem. And even if you haven't had a business for a long time, you might still do things the same way for years and years and years, just yourself. And you want to be able to sharpen your skills, get the newest and greatest information out here in the free world. And a lot of the programs are free. Like, I'm going to do a whole video on programs that you need to know, that you didn't know you needed in your life. And it's important to make sure that you're figuring out the best ways to do things in the new years and the new climate, and things. So many things change, especially when it comes to government contracting. Doing market research is another one. I talk about sources sought, or RFIs, a lot. Even when I teach in person, a lot of people have never heard of it. But RFIs, or sources sought, are basically the government's way to throw out a net and see what they can catch. It's not an official proposal unless they roll it out as a proposal. This is the government. They'll roll it out as a proposal, or roll it out as, they might sole source it to you, or they might roll it out as an RFQ, which is a request for quote, because you responded to their opportunity that they put out on sam.gov, or sometimes they do it on the local level as well, but not as much. So it's important for you to respond to those. So you may be granted the contract by default because you're the only one that went after submitted the information for the opportunity, and it could be under what's called simplified acquisition, or it could be a micro purchase, or it just could be a quote and they just need 3 quotes because it's under whatever that particular agency's limit is, because it varies. It could be 3,000, it could be 50,000. So you might be sole source that because you're the only one that responded. So that's a different way to look at market research, but also when it comes to your industry and when it comes to government contracting. I already talked about some of the websites you can use, such as GovCon Wire, or even FPDS. Or FPDS will show certain things on there. It might have like a little blurb. USA Spending might have a little blurb on the actual website. So just try to stay in the know with that. But market research for your industry as well. You might have some changes. I had a couple of friends who started trucking companies. It was actually the same exact time they started, and the fuel prices and the insurance prices went through the roof less than 6 months later. So there's really no way to predict that, but that took them out of business. So if you're in an industry that may fluctuate in price, you want to ensure that you're staying ahead of that, because when you're doing your pricing and it's what's called a firm fixed price, you may not be able to ask the government for an increase, and then now you're paying the government to do this contract. You're not making any profit and you're losing money. And no one's in this to lose money. Nobody's in this to lose money. We're all in this to make money, and the government knows that. So the government is going to try to get over sometimes, but they do know you need to make a profit. So if it's, certain things are just so low, the government may not even entertain it. But other things will be, a comparable price depending on what you actually do, what industry you're in, and what you're actually selling to the government. But if you're brand new, you're brand spanking new, you haven't even started your business yet, you might still even be working full time. You want to ensure that you are in alignment with the agency that you're targeting. You should target agencies. I had this conversation when I interviewed Tamika Head on my channel for our live, and she was honing in on targeting agencies. I will say, because I'm in janitorial, every single agency buys janitorial. So I would prefer to partner with or provide a service for an agency that's either close by or it's heavily connected to my certification. So as a veteran, the VA, the Veterans Affairs, will go after SCVOSB certified companies first, veteran certified companies first. And if they can't find a veteran, then they'll go out into the free world. But I definitely wanted to always target the VA and then an agency that's local to my headquarters, like the CDC and, other agencies that are nearby that I could actually, go to the building. Even GSA is another agency that is kind of like everywhere. You have to find out what buildings a GSA, is a GSA building, because they may only own half of the building or something like that. So GSA is just basically a landlord. It's a big landlord that's regulated by the government. It's a government agency. Yeah, you want to ensure that you're in alignment, whether it's your location, your industry, your certifications is in alignment with what you're trying to sell. And that's a missed art right now, because people are just really trying to find something, scrounging to find things. And that could be, you're running on a hamster wheel, you're running in circles, and you want to be very, very strategic for 2025. So the last thing as far as an actionable plan is making sure that you're compliant. Right now we have the CMMC compliance upcoming, and the government has been kind of lenient, if you will, with rolling that out as being mandatory right now. But you want to make sure that if you're doing federal contracting, that you're going to be CMMC certified or compliant, or whatever the term is. Like, and it depends on what you actually sell. And there was a small change, I believe recently one of my students actually sent it to me, for certain agencies, and it may not be a requirement for what you sell to the federal government. So just make sure you're staying compliant. Make sure that your accounting system is DCAA compliant. I talked about that quite a bit when I interviewed Janelle, my personal accountant, who is just phenomenal, and she is a government contracting accountant specifically, and also high net worth and real estate. So she does it all, but she definitely is the person that you want to use. You want to make sure that you're using someone, whether it's an attorney or an accountant or a tax person. You want to make sure that they're familiar with government contracting, because there's going to be some gaps that you don't even know that you need to know, and they need to know that for you. That's why you're paying them. Make sure that you have all of the compliances for your company. Now, I know some of you are like, Sheena, I ain't got no money. I'm just starting. I don't know what to do. Figure out how you can do this free first. There's a lot of pro bono services that are out, especially if you're a part of the IVMF network, which is the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, who have lots of boot camps and lots of conferences, and they even have like free certifications if you've taken a class with them or a boot camp with them. And there's a lot of services that they offer within that network that are pro bono, and you can get a lot of things done for free or very, very low cost. And there's other ways that you can get free services, or you could do it yourself. Just look at a YouTube video at this point or use ChatGPT to ask how to build a website. There's no excuse anymore. There's no excuse, because you can look literally everything up. So those are a couple of the action plans that I have for you guys. Some pitfalls that you want to avoid for sure is making sure that you are funded. Now, there are several of us who have won contracts. I am one of them. My first contract, really my first executed contract, which was technically my second contract, I won a contract and didn't know how I was going to fund it, and I was given an advance, which is crazy. I asked for an advance, I got it. Ask and you shall receive. And so we were able to use those funds to at least mobilize the contract, getting the thing started, getting some materials until we were able to get paid net 30. And this was a milestone contract, so it wasn't, like you bill every 30 days. It was like billing the agency after a certain milestone. So really it's supposed to be net 30, but it can be adjusted. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is ensuring that you're avoiding pitfalls. You're not winning contracts and then can't perform them because you do not have the funds. If you know you have poor credit, if you know you don't have any access to capital, if you know that you don't have anyone to borrow it from, then you need to go get a contract that you can manage. Something where maybe you can self-perform, or you can have family members help you if it's in compliance with whatever the contract is, or you're able to ask a supplier. I interviewed Free and Joy on my channel that do DLA. Did they do DLA? They do DLA, I believe. Yeah, they sell products. Anyway, so they ask their suppliers if they can get, net 30 terms for the products that they're selling. So you can also do that. You can ask your subcontractor to wait to get paid, or the subcontractor that you're going to use can actually, use their own funds to execute the contract, and then you pay them when you get paid from the government. There's a lot of different creative ways that you can, get started when it comes to that particular part, because not having the funds will put you on a blacklist, and especially if you're letting the contracting officer know, I won this contract, but I can't perform it because I don't have any funds. They could, they have a report card for you, and depending on who you have, and depending on what the FAR says for that particular contract, or if you had a bond or any of these other things, these other elements, you could get in, have your company on the no-no list, and you don't even know you're on a no-no list, and you're wondering why you're not winning any contracts, because contracting officers talk, they know each other, and especially in these small communities like Atlanta. I know people feel like Atlanta's big, but Atlanta's super small, especially the who's who in the city of Atlanta. So most people know most people, especially when it comes to contracting officers in certain industries where it's like, okay, all the construction people, all the, contracting officers and all those kinds of industries or those type of agencies, and they talk and they will, bring you up, or they'll talk about it, because it's frustrating if a contractor wins a contract and can't execute, because there's a lot of effort that goes into vetting you or checking your references and making sure your pricing, making sure everything is correct, and then you're saying that you can't execute the contract. That's bad. That's bad juju. So stop doing that. I'm hearing this so often, and then people are winning contracts and not turning any kind of profit. So what are we doing this for? Now, you might do it and say, look, I'm just trying to get this one contract in, and then I'm going to be smart next time. Okay, I got that. But make sure that you have a strategic plan for that. If you are just constantly bidding on contracts to try to win, and then you're losing and it's stressful, then this is a hobby at this point. So, those are, pitfalls that you want to avoid is so many things. I mean, I couldn't even in one video mention every single pitfall that is to come. But staying resilient is probably one of the best pieces of advice I can give people, because there's going to be bad days. There's going to be days you may not make payroll. There's going to be days that you just really don't want to do this crap anymore. And you still got to do it, because there's people's families are depending on you to make money, for you to sell, for you to submit invoices on time, for you to check on invoices, check on pay. All those things fall on you or someone in your executive team to take care of the workforce, or to take care of even the agency, because the agency may need you to deliver life-saving equipment or food or something like that. So you want to avoid as many pitfalls as possible. You study people, you study industries, you study business. This is still a business at the end of the day. You're just selling to the government, okay, or selling to corporate agencies. This is still a business, so all the same business things apply, okay? Like, keep that in your mind too. This is a business. Okay, boom, this business wants to sell to the government. So that's something that you really, really have to hone in on and get business smart so you can avoid pitfalls, because some of the things, if you're a good business owner, you're executing your business in a grand way, then you're going to naturally avoid pitfalls, because some of the things that are issues are only issues because you're not treating it like a real business. Also, understanding what you're selling. I've heard people give examples that I'm doing the middleman strategy. That's my business. That's not no such thing, because, middleman it means too many things to too many people. That's why I try to figure out why I didn't like the word. That's why, because it means something different to so many people. And so when people ask me that, I ask them, what does that mean to you? And so usually maybe 60% of people might say, I want to get a contract and then subcontract out the work to an expert. That's called subcontracting. I don't know. It's not middle, because you are the prime contractor when you're awarded the contract. When the agency awards your company, when they award my company, Foresight Industries, they're not saying you're a middleman. They're saying you're the prime contractor. Figure out how you're going to execute this contract. So I may not be doing any of the work. It may be all my subcontractor, but it still falls on me as a prime contractor. So I'm not in the middle of anything. I'm at top. In the front, just saying. So, ensure that you are, using the right language, ensuring that your company knows what it's doing, knows what it's talking about, and people will call BS. Those who know. If you go to a conference, or you go even having a conversation with an executive or someone that you're trying to work with, and you're saying, I do middleman, they're not going to know what you're talking about. That doesn't compute for anyone. So you got to tell them what you do. My company provides facility management services such as janitorial, floor repair, painting, pressure washing, carpet cleaning for the federal government, local government, and corporate agencies. Oh, that makes sense. Not, just saying I'm just doing stuff. Now, there are some people that just do stuff. You just sell things, you sell products, and you're like, let me just see. Now, really, is the best thing, since especially if you're solo dolo just starting, is you're going to be scatterbrained all over the place. And so it's hard to get subcontractors for every single thing that you're going to be doing, all these 5 different industries, and that's going to be more work for you. So instead of just bidding on all the plumbing gigs because you're a plumber, then you can self-perform, or you have a whole network of plumbers that you can just send out to all these different jobs. Doesn't that make more sense? I'm just saying that makes a lot more sense to me. But maybe you're in an industry that doesn't have a lot of opportunities. Okay, so then you can kind of branch out and find some other things. And then every now and then you can bid on a book contract or, something like that where you're like, okay, I understand this. I used to do this, or it just makes sense to me. And you can do that sparingly. That's my advice. That's just Sheena's little humble opinion, okay? Just want to share that. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with someone if you feel like it might be beneficial to them to grow, scale, or even start their business in 2025. But we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. I want you guys to put in the comments some of the struggles that you had in 2024 and what you're going to do different in 2025, because now a lot more people understand government contracting, which I love. I don't care who you've heard it from first, but I really, really love the fact that people are learning more about this, because as small businesses or solopreneurs, if we do not bid on contracts or go after contracts, small businesses will cease to exist. Maybe they'll take away certifications if not enough people are getting their certifications and bidding on contracts, or not enough small businesses, which is 20% of all contracts are set aside for small businesses. If not enough businesses are going after the opportunities, then they'll get rid of the opportunities. They won't set them aside. They'll just let it go to Boeing and John Deere and all these other huge companies that continuously get trillions of dollars, or maybe billions of dollars in contracts every single year. So we want to make sure that we're expanding the knowledge, sharing the gospel, so we can there's enough money so we can all get to it. There's enough money for all of us. Even if I bid on every single contract I could possibly bid on just here in Georgia, there's still be plenty for everyone else. It's not oversaturated. Don't let anyone tell you that. If they say it's oversaturated, that means that they have a limited scope of where they're looking for opportunities or getting opportunities. It's not limited. There's so many different ways to get contracts that, no, don't let anyone tell you that. Speaking of which ways to get contracts, you can bid on contracts. You can go to networking events and partner with people. You can be a prime because of your certifications. You can be a sub because of your location. You can team to build a bigger conglomerate or a joint venture and create a new business with other companies and go after contracts that way, pulling your resources together. There's just so many ways that you can get contracts. Word of mouth, conversation, any of that. You never really know where it's going to come from, right? Also, don't forget to check out my indefinite discounted course. Go to Sheenapreneur.com. The website and the link is in the description. But I teach about federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. And I have an indefinite sale because I just want more people to do government contracting, and I don't want price to be the restriction. I know that sounds so crazy, but I really mean it from my heart, that I want people to, learn about government contracting and not be afraid because they're afraid of a price. You can get this information for free. You're getting a lot of information for free right now. On this video, you can go to the SBA, which is a Small Business Administration. They have a whole section. You can take courses and boot camps about government contracting, and then specifically for veterans, they have a program called VIP, which is Veterans Institute for Procurement, and they teach about government contracting in multi-levels. You have VIP Start, VIP Grow, VIP International, VIP Commercial, which is corporate contracting. I'm just so excited about that one. I was able to attend that in 2024. We were the first class to go through for VIP Commercial. That's where you do business with like Wells Fargo, AT&T, Home Depot, USAA, Navy Federal, a bunch of corporate agencies, right? So VIP is a very, very good resource. And you can also, there's been people that have been in those boot camps and have done business business together, where they were able to, whether they were brand new or they were seasoned business, they were able to partner with other people in those boot camps and, go after opportunities together because they're in the same industry. So it's a great way to expand and then learn and grow so you can put your best foot forward for your own company. So just to quickly recap for some of your action plans is January 2025. Make sure you update your capability statement. Make sure that you are networking and trying to team with other companies. Make sure you are staying compliant. Make sure you are doing market research, whether it's for your industry or is for opportunities that are listed that agencies are looking for information from. And also make sure that you have a proposal writing process or even a bid execution process so you're able to, have it set up even if you're not ready to bid yet. Read the bids and just in your industry, read the bids that are relevant so you can get familiar with the jargon. Don't get intimidated. Just take one day out of the week or one block of time, turn your phone on DND, turn your phone off, silent, and just read it. And then don't make notes, because I know my note takers. Don't make notes. Just read through it, and guaranteed it will be a lot less intimidating the next time you are faced with another proposal, RFP, bid, or anything like that. If you just read it instead of just micromanaging the process, it's a lot simpler than you think. So remember, we're all in this together. We're living the same life, a lot of us. We're all going through this together. I am no different than anyone that is watching this video right now. I do my best to stay as transparent and as humble as I possibly can, because as business owners, it can be tough. We have good days, we have bad days, no matter whether you're making $5 or 5 million or even 100 million. It's all the same. But I'm just saying, more money, more problems, but it's the same. You're still a person. You're still a human, no matter how much money you're making. And some of us think that money solves a lot of these things. So make sure that you're staying, you're keeping your mental health together, you're taking care of your family, and you're not sacrificing time, those precious moments, that love that you have with your family, and that's even with your career as well. So 2025 could be your year to break through for government contracting, and I just wanted to leave you with that. And make sure that you're sharing some of your journey in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know some of the things that you guys have dealt with or faced, or some of the things you hated about what I've said or what I've done, or you're like, Sheena, you were wrong, or Sheena, you were right. I want to hear all of it in the comments. Please leave that information in the comments. And even if you want to do some partnering and you want to share below, share what your company does. Maybe you might have a connection, have some teaming going on. That's what we're about. We're about building the community. So 2025 is it. This is your year to change what you have not been doing all this time. Some of you have watched me for years. You have talked about and learned about and been to every class about government contracting and have not executed on anything. That's okay. It's a new year. This is the year. 2025 is the year. So let's get going. Let's get this money. Let's get this money, this GovCon money. Okay. So remember my government contracting course, GovConNOW, teaches about federal contracting, local contracting, and corporate contracting. The link is in the description, Sheenapreneur.com, with my indefinite sale. And I have some goodies as well that you can download, checklists, technical proposals, all that good stuff for you all. And let me know another video that you would like for me to make. So until next time, it is your favorite veteran.